Alrighty. Peace, love, harmony, and light. I think I'm live. So let's make sure we have audio. Let's make sure everything is good. All right, give me a second. Alrighty. Peace, love, harmony, and light. Yes, we do. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys some time to step into this live feed. We're gonna talk about a few things today, but um, I'm not really, honestly, today, I'm not going to make this an extremely long video. My plan is to go at least an hour and a half tops. If I go over that, then that would be a little surprising to me. But I'm going to go straight to the point. I'm not here to, again, play any games. I'm not here for any negativity. So anybody who comes with the negativity, you will be blocked. Once again, there's too much work to be done. So I don't have time to waste and to play around with y'all, bottom feeders and weak-minded people. All right. So let us get into this. I'm gonna give some more people some time to again tune in. Hope everybody's having a great day. It's a beautiful day in New York. The sun is out. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I think I heard myself earlier on the live feed, but just wanted to make sure some of you guys are hearing me. All right. Peace. Dandada, peace. Let me know if the sound is good on your end. Let me know if the sound is good. We have a few things to cover. As you could see, the title, we have to go back to the beginning, and that's where all this will be unraveled. All right. Rhode Island planning on handing out state residential ID cards. I already know it, Tommy. I already know, man. This is what it is. This is a part of, controlling the people. It's controlling the people's mindset. And we have to realize this is more than just a physical thing. So we have a few things that we're going to get into in this video. All right. Because the people's minds are under attack. And, you could look in the streets every day and see that. And people don't realize that there's a problem. And that when you have people such as myself, that's willing to step up and make a change, teach the knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Then you have a lot of people coming around hating, spreading propaganda and lies. But again, that's just part of the world. That's just the part of the world that we live in. Like I'm going to say before, the only way to know if good exists is for us to experience evil. Vice versa. The only way for us to experience evil is to know that good exists. What does it boil down to? It all boils down to free will. Okay, each and every man, woman has free will, but the problem is man and woman has taken the context of free will to mean that free will to do what the hell you want. No, it's actually should be free will to do as you should. And what does that mean? It means that there are laws in the universe. Okay, the creator, the most high, put laws in our hearts and mind. All right. And we have forgotten that. We have forgotten that. And, we have turned our backs on the Most High. And people don't realize that. And today I'm going to touch on a few things, not because I subscribe to the Bible, meaning that I believe it came from a sky daddy. That's totally far from the truth, or at least my truth. However, I believe the Bible is real because it was written by real men. That's as far as it goes for me. Okay, knowing a fact, which is a fact, knowing that the Bible is all allegory. It was meant to be symbolic. It wasn't meant to be taken literally. You see, so a lot of people are walking around thinking that some sky daddy in the sky came down and wrote those things, but we have to be aware. And one of the things that people have to be aware of, is that the creator wrote the laws in our hearts and minds, because we didn't have books, we didn't have paper and pens to write on. So therefore that was imprinted in our DNA. You feel me? But men, lost their way, and they got a craving to be controlled. All right. They got a craving to form governments and institutions and churches so that their lives could be controlled. And that's what's happening today. You see, so I want to go back as far as I can to show you, because right now we are going through an era in our time where we have presidents of a corporation, that's going around calling people immigrants, when the truth of the matter is they are the real immigrants. Now, again, it depends on what context are you looking at the term immigrants. So I'm going to break that down to you. But as far back as we could go, this nation, or so-called nation, because it's not a nation, okay, but this incorporated nation, okay, from its commencement, from the time it began, it has always been known that we are a nation of immigrants. And every president, for the most part, that came into play, that has been a message that we are a nation of immigrants. Okay? So now, so when you look at the term immigrants, all right, it's literally, where another culture, another race, another ethnic group comes into another landmass and make that their home. In essence, that's, the definition of what immigrants mean. Okay. So those people are not the Aborigines of that land. They're not. Okay. So when they use the term immigrants and the American Aborigines, we know that we are not immigrants, and they are saying that this land is a land of immigrants. Where does that put us? How do we fit in that criteria? You see, that's what we have to start thinking of. And you see, a lot of people are not talking about that. So I'm going to talk to you about a few things that's not conventional. Okay, it is not the status quo. And you'll realize I've always been a trendsetter. I was one of the first people that started telling our people that we are not from Africa. I was one of the first people that started saying we are the American Indians. Well, the so-called American Indians. I was one of the first people that started saying that the first Egypt was right here in America. And a lot of people thought I was crazy. But now all the truth is being unraveled. So I have always been one step ahead. And I'm going to prove to you again that I am still one step ahead. Because you know what? The Most High gave me insight. You see, a lot of people are seeing things from the outside in, So I call that outside. They are outside trying to find things that's within. But me, I approach things a little bit differently. Okay? I ask for insight. I ask for vision. And whenever you ask in truth, it shall be given unto you. So I see things from a different perspective. So I'm going to open up your mind again from a different perspective, outside the box. And remember what I just told you. Pretty much every president, and what have presidents? Corporations have presidents, right? It's a business. So every president that comes to manage this business or run this business, they always say that we are a nation of immigrants. So my question is this: what happens to the people that were not immigrants? In other words, the people who were already here, the so-called African American, the so-called black man and woman. And I say so-called because black people doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a black man or a black woman. But you see, our people have grown to accept this foolish pride of being dead. They don't exist and they don't care. Of course, African American doesn't apply to us because we are not Africans. And Africa is a so-called continent. And if America is a so-called continent, how can you be two continents at one time? So, we have already beat that, down a few times. So we're not going to get into that. But this is what I really want you to think about. Okay? So if this is a nation of immigrants, where does that put the American Aborigine? How do we fit in that picture? So are they telling us indirectly that this is not our home? Or are they telling you indirectly that a construct was created called the United States, and you have an option, you have a choice not to be a so-called citizen of that construct. And if you choose not to be, then you become what's called an illegal alien. You heard it from Martin Luther King. The black man is exiled in his own home, right? So how do you have to see things is the key. And a lot of people walking around, going around, oh, I'm conscious, I'm conscious. What does conscious means? Oh, well, the conscious community. It becomes a religion, right? Now, I don't know if people know what the definition of conscious is. All the definition of conscious means is to be aware. Aware. So when you say you are part of the conscious community, my question to you is this: what are you aware of? Because being so-called conscious is not a cult. But people, they have grown to believe it's a cult because people are always looking for institutions to be a part of. Instead of being a free thinker, to be a man and a woman, they have forgotten that. So they're always looking to be a part of something. But my question to you today is, what are you a part of? So when you come to me, well, I'm conscious, it doesn't impress me. Because my question to you is, what are you conscious of? That is the question. So let us go look at a video that John F. Kennedy, he was giving a speech. And we're going to go take a look at that video real quick. All right. So let me just share my screen here. OK, and pay attention. OK, here we go.
It was not only, as John Adams exalted, that they were to have the unique opportunity to write a new constitution and form a new government and begin a new nation.
OK, so let us stop here for a second, right? Let us stop here for a second. Let me just stop sharing here for a second, right? Let us stop here for a second. You heard what the man said, right? It wasn't just a John Adams vision, but they wanted to form a new constitution. What does that mean? You see, we have to really get into the details of things. And we have to start looking outside the box and look in. All right? So the man said in his own words, okay, that they had to form a new constitution. So in other words, a constitution had already existed. The people that were already here, they already had governments. They already had constitutions. But a new one had to be created. In other words, to create a new nation. You heard it in his own words, create a new nation. What does that mean? To create anything new, there had to be something old. So something did exist before the United States. All right, let's continue. Give me a second. Let me share the screen again. All righty then. All righty.
It was also the deep conviction, as later expressed by Walt Whitman, that here we have planted the standard of freedom, and here we will test the capacities of men for self-government. America was to be the great experiment.
Oh, wow. America was meant to be the great experiment. So my brothers and sisters, we are part of an experiment. I'm going to go into this. Now, some people say, well, this is deep. Man, I'm just showing you the facts. I'm just showing you the truth. Now, whether you want to, hey, take it for face value or not, that's on you. You know what I mean? But I'm here to show you some things that other people may not be showing you. Open up your mind some more. Because a lot of these people, you see, they are limited. And guess what? I'm not here trying to put anybody down, but I'm trying to take you outside of the box, okay? Take you outside of the status quo. We are not just seeking answers right now, but I'm giving you the answers because I'm not seeking anymore. I'm giving you the answers. So once again, those who have eyes, let them see, and those who have ears, let them hear. We are an experiment, okay?
A testing ground for political liberty.
A testing ground for political liberty. So what did they have to do? They had to create political entities, political people, black, white. Those are all political statuses. Okay, an experiment. Let us continue.
A model for democratic government. And although the first task was to mold a nation on these principles here in this continent, we would also lead the fight against tyranny in all continents.
So they had to mold. Now, I don't know if you know what it means to mold something. To mold something means that you have to take it apart. You have to break it down. Okay? All the something that was whole, you know, bring it down into different components, mold it into what they wanted it to be. The experiment. We came, we said we discovered, we met people here. Okay, so you know what? We are going to take things over. So what are we going to do? It is the old world because they have been here. So we're going to create a new world. A new world. Let's create a new constitution. Let's create a new government. Let us mold things. Let us create a political model. It's an experiment, mold. And they did mold by any means necessary. Murder, rape, pillage, genocide, the Holocaust of our people.
In short, wrote Jefferson to Adams, the flames kindled on the 4th of July, 1776, have spread over too much of the globe to be extinguished by the feeble energies of despotism. Although Jefferson also foresaw that to attain liberty in other parts of the globe, years of desolation must pass over. Almost 2 centuries have passed since a small, weak nation, a beachhead on a continent, began the great experiment of democracy in a world where government, by the consent, it's almost 11 o'clock, by the consent of the governed, has been extinguished for 2,000 years.
Okay, so you hear that for yourself, right? The governments of the past, all right, it was extinguished. So that's all the time they took to mold, break down, fight, take over this American continent. So this is not, when you see, when people start talking about 1492, this thing, it has been happening way before 1492. I'm taking you back. I'm taking you back. This fight has been going on for quite some time now. So once again, our ancestors didn't just sit around. No. They fought. They lost lives fighting an oppressor that came to take over, create a new world. For over 2,000 years. How ironic, you know, they said that, you know, the so-called Jesus also, you know, existed for 2,000 years. Now, hey, maybe I'm just reaching, but hey, if it smells like a duck, then it might be a duck. Let's listen some more.
As Jefferson prophesied, there have been many years of desolation and destruction. It seems to me that it is our responsibility in this year of change and hope to prove that we are equal to this great inheritance, make it possible for the four freedoms which Franklin Roosevelt so eloquently described in another time of peril and danger 20 years ago, to make sure that those four freedoms, indeed the great concept of indivisible freedom, is made available to all of our people, to all of our citizens, and to bear our part of the burden as we...
Hey, to all of our citizens, right? Remember, our people, they were not considered citizens of the United States. That didn't start happening until, well, of course, you had the civil rights. But what did civil rights do for our people? Did it help our people or did it hurt our people? If you ask me, it hurt them. So when they start speaking of our people, who do you think they're talking about? And once again, my videos or this message particularly, like any other message, has nothing to do with the color of skin. It is an ideology. It is a way of life. It is a state of mind. Western civilization has nothing to do with the Western man or woman per se, because America is not in the West. They have flipped the map around. But Western civilization is a Caucasian, and I'm going to say Caucasian because the original Europeans are not Caucasians, but it is a certain type of, or a certain pedigree of Caucasianism, if that's a word, right? Their mindset, their ideology, that is what the Western world means. It is a way of life, a way of thinking, ideas. That's what it is. Because the only way to control the body is to control the mind. I'm going to repeat that. The only way to control the body is to control the mind. So wherever the mind goes, the body will follow. So the minds of the people had to be enslaved first because they couldn't beat us physically. That's why we have had centuries of war. The longest wars that have actually been fought, they have been fought right here on the American continent. It wasn't no world wars. It wasn't no wars against other nations. It was the wars against the Aborigines that were found here because our ancestors fought. And because they couldn't beat them, they had to re-strategize and find other ways to enslave the people. How are we going to do that? These people are too strong. They're too agile. They're fast. They're fast runners. We can't catch them. And they had to go back to the lab. Oh, you know what? The mind. The mind. If we control the mind, we will control the people. And that's what Western civilization means. A control of the mind by a certain demographic of Western Caucasians. Because not every so-called white person is of the same pedigree. Just like how you have different phenotypes of Negroid people, just like how the Africans are not Americans, you have different type of Caucasians. And the only thing is they know the difference between themselves. It's kind of hard for us to tell. The same way of, some of them just say, well, all black people look alike, right? Well, they all look alike, the same to us, but they know the difference between themselves. And it was a certain group, a certain ethnic group that decide, you know what, we are going to do some cleansing, ethnic cleansing. Let us proceed.
We have for so many years in making that great concept available to all people. This is a great inheritance. It is a proud privilege to be a citizen of the great republic.
Okay, so this is a great inheritance. Who did you inherit it from? Now, they cannot say that they inherited from their, yes, maybe their forefathers, but who did these forefathers get it from? There begs the question, the $1 million question. It's an inheritance. But who did you take it from? Who did you inherit it from? And was it legally done? No. Now, some may argue, well, you know what? They got it from their forefathers, so they're entitled to it. So let us just listen up some more and see how far back we could go and just hear what this man has to say in his own words.
To hear its song sung, to realize that we are the descendants of 40 million people who left other countries, other familiar scenes, to come here to the United States to build a new life, to make a new opportunity for themselves and their children.
So there you go. 40 million people from other countries, to come here to build a new life that were facing similar situations. So they're talking about the Puritans, the Pilgrims. That's who they were. That's who they are. So they inherited things from their forefathers who came here as immigrants. So that's why they say that this nation is a nation of immigrants. But then they embody that term nation and make it America. America is a nation of immigrants. No, the incorporated United States is a nation of immigrants. And what is the United States? The United States is only a 10-mile radius within the District of Columbia. And of course, its territories, Puerto Rico, Guam, etc., etc. So that is the only control these people have on the American continent. But beknownst to the American people, the true original American people, they don't know. So you have all these immigrants, the real immigrants, okay, who have taken over your constitution, taken over your governments, and now they are calling you immigrants while they call themselves Americans. Oh, wow. How the tables have turned. But yet still today, instead of us uniting, instead of us coming together, you still have those who have sold us out in the past. You have their children, their descendants, because they have the same DNA as their parents, who are here doing the same thing, causing division, selling us out. And you wonder why we are not making progress. That's why. Because the people who came to our land, they came here with a mission. They came here with a purpose. They were well organized. They strategized before they came. They worked, they had a plan, and they worked their plan. And it worked so well. So at the ending of the day, who is to really blame for this? Now, that's kind of like a loaded question because, you know, yes, we had wars and we fought. And some of the things, we literally had to go into treaties because at some point, some type of terms, they had to come to some type of terms. Well, you know what? Okay, you're here now. Are we going to continue to fight and kill each other? Or can we find some way to live together? So treaties were formed. As a matter of fact, there were over 370 something treaties between our people and the United States. And they haven't honored one to this present day.
I think it is not a burden, but a privilege to have the chance in 1963 to share that great concept which they felt so deeply among all of our people. To make this really, as it was for them, a new world for us,
A new world. A new world. Well, my brothers and sisters, for there to be something new, there had to be something old. A new world for us. Who is the us that this man, that people so honored, is referring to? Us. He's not talking about the American Aborigines, but yet still the American Aborigines, the so-called black people, the so-called African American, held this man as a hero. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, he may have done a few things to facilitate the needs of the so-called Negro. But when he speaks of us, the 40 million of them who came here, now, is that really where the slave ships came in? Because we were not slaves. How many of you know that the word slave originated from the word Slavic? Slavery started with Caucasian people. So when you get into the narrative of slavery, don't just believe what you were told. The theory of the Atlantic slave trade, it's a theory.
And indeed, for all those who look to us, that is what this organization has stood for 50 years. That's what this country has stood for 200 years. And that's what this country will continue to stand for. Thank you.
Yes, for 200 years. So the time he gave that speech in 1963, what we're going to do right now, I'm actually on my calculator right now. It's funny that, we used to just calculate things. Now we just have to use a calculator for everything, right? So we're going to take 1963 and we're going to minus 200 from that. That was in 1763. So when he said for 200 years, let us go back to 1763. 1763, all these things were transpiring. The taking over of the Aborigines, molding them, breaking them, taking the Constitution, creating new governments, turning it into a new world. Let us take a look at Obama here for a second. They have the same message.
America is a nation of immigrants. America is a nation of immigrants. America is a nation of immigrants.
So once again, my brothers and sisters, right? You have to go beyond the veil of the illusions, right? You have to. America is a nation of immigrants. So if America is a nation of immigrants, what happened to the people that were already here? What are you implying? Are you implying that that's not their home? So what does that make them? What does it make them? So you see, it was an experiment, classifying people as black and white. It was an experiment, a political experiment. And I'm going to prove it to you again. Let us go look at, there have been, many documents, okay, where so-called Africans came into the United States and they were labeled white. I wonder how come a so-called black man could be white. That's an interesting concept. So let us take a look at something real quick. Let me share my screen once more. Okay, so here we have it, right? Let's just say this early 20th, let's start from here, right? The early 20th century Arab immigrants were not interested in being on the wrong end of Jim Crow laws and did not want to live as a non-citizen like the Asians, okay? Asian immigrants were considered non-citizens, all right? Yes, there was a time when Asians, Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, they were not considered citizens of the United States. But how is it that Asians, they literally have more than the original people? Well, a couple of questions to ponder on. It says, they petitioned the government, grant them legal whiteness. And it did. Legal whiteness. The Arabic speakers who immigrated to the United States after 1965 Immigration and Nationality Act, including my parents, now that's a gentleman who's telling his story, were much more diverse than the previous waves. Most of the newcomers, who included people from 10 African countries, could not pass for white even if they wanted to. My elementary school, let me see. Let's go up here some more. So it's saying here, but by the 20th century, if a man looked white, he enjoyed full benefits of citizenship. If a man looked white. Now they are talking about in terms of description, the color of the skin. By the 20th century, if a man looked white, he would be considered to be, he would get the benefits of citizenship. But if he looked or was suspected of being black, then he would have to contend with racist laws designed to disenfranchise and terrify African Americans. The immigration of non-Europeans threw a wrench into the system. Early 20th century Arabs were not interested. I just read that. All right. So how is it that a so-called black African man, right here, the author, paternal grandfather, Al-Maki Muhammad Al-Walfariq or something like that, and her maternal grandmother, right, have been classified as white per the US Census. So my brothers and sisters, calling yourself black or white is a political status with privileges that can be taken away. And you have certain individuals on YouTube going around putting up their fists talking about white power, but they are so-called black as they. And I'm saying so-called black because there's no such thing as black people on the American continent. So they are actually encouraging you into a political status where you are granted certain privileges because you are a so-called black man calling yourself white. How idiotic is that? Well, it's not. It's not idiotic if you're looking for privileges, but know that those privileges can be taken away. So we are dealing with political statuses. We have to really, truly understand, you know, what I'm talking about here. Let me go back to the live feed. Okay. So you see where I'm going with this, right? You see where I'm going with this, right? The point I'm trying to make is this. We were and we are an experiment. Our land is considered an experiment, a political experiment. The people that were already here, they became part of a westernized mind experiment. Now, I have to address something here real quick. I don't have any qualms or any beef with so-called Moors. I don't. The truth of the matter is this. A lot of these people who call themselves Moors today, they are American Aborigines. Okay? Now, well, again, you know, it's quite ironic how I just mentioned the Moors and somebody just asked a question. How is this different from what the Moors push? Well, let me elaborate on a few things. I don't call myself white. I don't put my hands up talking about white power or white power. I don't do that because I'm not a political fictitious entity. So that is one of the differences. But talking about the Moors here for a second, a lot of people give the Moors flack. Okay? What you have to realize is this: a lot of these people calling themselves Moors today are actually American Aborigines. Here's my problem. A lot of Moors go around saying that we should all call ourselves Moors. I don't call myself a Moor. Okay? And for you to go around saying everybody are Moors is like going around saying everybody is black. There's no difference. Okay? It is just a descriptive term. So if you want to call yourself a Moor, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. But the same way I choose not to call myself black or African American, I choose not to call myself a Moor. It doesn't mean that you are not an American Aborigine. I'm not taking that away from you. I'm just saying is just don't impose that on me. I don't want to call myself that. Because again, a lot of people say, well, we are not Indians. We shouldn't call ourselves Indians. Well, why should we call ourselves Moors? Because that was a name that was given to us as well. So the point of this is this: I am taking you guys out of the mindset, out of the paradigm of those labels. Labels. You see, those are all labels. I want to take you back to being a man and a woman. Now, I am a man who has labeled himself as an American Aborigine. But first thing first, I am a man first. And that's how I want to teach y'all the game. Because this is a game that we are playing. It's a political game. It's a game of societies. Okay? Membership, cults. And you are part of a game. You're playing a game that you don't understand. So I want to show you how to win. One of my last videos, a brother who calls himself a Moor came and he was saying, well, Moors was doing this and Moors was doing that. My brother, the entire continent was melanated people. So we have had governments and institutions for many of years. And I'm certainly sure the further back you go into antiquity, we didn't call ourselves Aborigines. We didn't call ourselves Moors. We were just people living, man and woman living, born and created in the likeness and image of the Creator. So once again, it is all labels. But he started talking about, well, you know, writs and all this affidavits and all. Let me tell you something. All those things are statutory. Okay? They're all statutory. Yes, you may get away with some, you know, using some of those terms. But I have Moors right now reaching out to us, you know, that are stuck in jail using statutes because they don't get it. Now, not all of them, but some of them don't get it. So again, if you want to be a Moor, that's cool. That's on you. But don't force this on everybody who's dark. Everybody who is dark don't want to call themselves a Moor. And this is not to beef or separate. You see, y'all creating separation, divide and conquer. If you want to be who you are, great. That's fine. Nobody's going to hate you for that. I don't hate you for that. But don't impose it on me. Okay? Because y'all get stuck in this statutory world. It's not real. It's fictitious. And you want to be attorneys. That's why y'all end up in jail. Because you want to be an attorney. You want to be part of the legal society. You want to be part of the bar. I'm not. I don't want to be part of the legal society. So I don't get stuck up in statutes and codes. There are millions of statutes and codes. Who wants to learn these things? Because it doesn't apply to me. I'm a man. And that's why this message is different than the rest. So if y'all want the true knowledge, I'm giving you the true knowledge. Okay? We have forgotten how to be men and women, and that's the problem. That's the problem. So let us go to the very beginning, before all the labels. That's where I want to take you. You want to know how to win? I'm going to show you how to win. Oh, and before I continue, I have in the link below my book, Newsflash, Everyone's a Slave Unless. You could go get your copy right now. The link is below, all right? That book is definitely a must read. I want to teach you how to win. But for you to know how to win, you have to know how all this happened. You have to know everything in order to fix anything. In order to fix what was broken, you have to know how to, you have to go to the blueprint. Go to the beginning. You have to. And also, one of our sisters, OneLUV, she has a new video. I think it's called Reclaiming the Throne, OneLUV. I have her video in the link below. So, check it out and go support the sister, go subscribe to her channel. All right. So let's get back on topic here for a second. Let us go back to the beginning. This is where I want to take you, to the beginning. I want to show you how to win, because these people are 2,000 years ahead. Okay, let us even come in more into recent times. They are always 50 moves ahead. They are always 50 moves ahead. I'm going to show you how to catch up. Okay, this is literally a crash course in catching up to the colonizers in this video. I'm going to bring you right on. I'm going to make the playing field a little more level so that you know how to win. This is what this is about. It's a game. And you are losing because you don't know how to play it. Because everybody knows something. Everybody, who could do a video. Oh, I'm a scholar. I'm a teacher. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not a scholar. I'm not a teacher. I'm a student. I'm a student. But I'm a student of the truth. So I'm going back to the beginning. All right? So check this out. Let us share this for a second. And I'm going to go into the Bible here for a second. All right? And just so we make it quite clear, I am not quoting the Bible because I believe it was written by a sky daddy. Okay? No, I have to make my disclaimer. I am quoting the Bible because it's real, because it was written by real men. Okay? And what a lot of y'all don't know is that a lot of the Bible scenarios in the Bible, if we were to take it literally, it applies to the American Aborigines, and all the places in the Bible is literally, for the most part, over 90% of all the places in the Bible is actually in the Americas. So it is a story that, again, it's allegory. It has different meanings, different, symbolic meanings. So it is really based on interpretation. But I know one thing. There is a creator, whether you want to call the creator God, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Jehovah, it doesn't matter. However, the creator said that I am that I am. That's all I know. However, man came and said that the I am shall be known as Jesus, Buddha, Allah, Zeus, Mithra, Apollo. It is the same creator. They just give it, him, her different names. But I know that I was created in the likeness and image of that creator. So check this out real quick. All right. Let me share my screen once more. So here we go. And again, it's not because I subscribe to the Bible thinking it was written by a sky daddy. No, it was written by real men, but it has meaning. All right. So just to make sure, we have the creation. The creation. Then God said, let us make man. Let us make man. Us. That's plural. So why everybody going around here talking about, whoa, he. Well, what happened to the she? I have never seen a man make a baby. So within the creator, both genders exist. So as above, so is below. The same way you have a physical earthly mother and father, you also have spiritual parents. You also have a spiritual mother and father. That's why it says, let us. But for some reason, everybody is he, and they forgot the mother. Okay? So let us make man in our image after our likeness to rule over fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and the livestock, and over all the earth itself, and every of creature that crawls upon it. So therefore, the Creator gave us, okay, well, the Most High gave us, the Great Spirit gave us dominion over everything, over the creation. All right? 27. So God, well, in that word God, I'm going to say that, so the Great Spirit created man. And instead of saying his, I'm going to say in there. So the Great Spirit created man, and man, again, is generic for man and woman, in their own image. In the image of the Great Spirit, they created him male and her female. He, she, the Great Spirit created them. And the Great Spirit, I'm not going to say blessed them, but uplifted them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and rule over the fish, the sea, and the birds of the air, and every creature that crawls upon the earth. That is the law, the covenant between the Great Spirit, what you call God, and man and woman. Be fruitful and multiply. And if you're not being fruitful and you're not multiplying, then that is not of the Most High. But we're not going to get into that. That's not what this video is about. Okay? We're going to go. So here you have it. Okay? I'm taking you back before all the labels. All the labels. So I don't want anybody coming to me and telling me, well, this is what we are. That is what we are. This is... No. I could only speak for myself. I'm a man. Now, I'm a man who labels himself as an American Aborigine. But I'm a man first. Because I'm going to show you, I'm pointing out the big, your downfall. The downfall is the labels that you have accepted. Because those labels are man-made. The Most High didn't make Moors. The Most High didn't make Israelites. The Most High didn't make American Aborigines. The Most High didn't make Africans. The Most High created man and woman. That's it. Straight up. No labels. Now, what happened? The Most High gave us free will. You have a choice to either partake of the good or partake of evil. It's your choice. You have free will. And I'm going to go to Proverbs 69 just to point that out to you. Proverbs 69. The heart of man plans his way, but they have the Lord, but I'm not going to say the Lord, but the Great Spirit establishes his steps. Let me elaborate on that here for a second. The heart of man plans his way. In other words, everything that you are, everything that you do, your heart plans it. It is your plan. Okay? And then you have everybody say, well, it's not my will, it's God's will. No. Right here in Proverbs 6:9, the Creator is telling you, your heart plans your way. It is you. It is your way. Yahweh, your way. Yahweh. Yahweh. So the life that we are living currently, it is because of the decisions that we made yesterday. And when I say yesterday, I could go back into antiquity. I'm talking about in the past. However, the tools were already laid down and established by the Most High. In other words, the Most High gave us everything possible to pick from, the choice that we have, the free will, to plan our way so that we will become what we want to become. But we have forgotten that. We have lost our way. And that's the problem. Okay? That's the problem. We have forgotten who we are. So going back to speaking about hearing every single president say that we are a nation of immigrants, they are saying it's a code word that you so-called Black people are not part of their society. You are not part of their cult. You are not part of their nation because you are not an immigrant. You are an aborigine. And you wonder why you are going through what you are going through. It is because you have accepted a label, a political status of being dead. Yes, you might be better off calling yourself white, but it's still a political status created by the census. How do you win? Because we are playing a game. How do you win? It's quite simple. You win by being a man or a woman. It's that simple, brothers and sisters. Because guess what? The fictitious world that they have created, they cannot prosecute a man or a woman. However, they could prosecute a citizen. They could prosecute a slave. They could prosecute a defendant, a criminal, a suspect. But they cannot prosecute a man or a woman. So I don't care what you call yourself. It is still a label. American Aborigines are not protected by the Constitution because the Constitution is no longer ours. Because these people, they haven't honored any of those treaties. That's just the truth. However, the Constitution protects the man and the woman. We, the people. Somebody asked, so who are we? Well, I'm a man. A man who labels himself as an American Aborigine or as an autochthon American. If we were, to speak politically, of course. So that is the point. That is the point. All right. So you have to truly get this. Truly get this. Because when the civil rights movement came about, it was a big movement for the so-called Black people, right? Oh, so they could get rights. No, that was actually a trap. A trap to take away you being freed men and freed women. Now, let us look at the term free men and women. It doesn't mean that you were slaves. It just meant that you were not citizens. You get it? The truth is right before us. It just meant that you were free men and women because you owned the land. This is our home. But the only way they would have been able to take that away from you is to change you who you were politically. So they had to create the census. So now you would register as an entity. So you had the black, the white. It wasn't because of skin tone. No, It was a privilege. It was legal political statuses. That's why a lot of Africans who come here that look just like you, they are considered white. So you see the game that's being played on you? Now, we have two things that's working in our favor, but we are so blind, we can't see it. That's why I said that those who have eyes, let them see, and those who have ears, let them hear. Number one, we are man and woman created in the likeness and image of the Most High. So what they had to do, even before they gave you all the labels, what they had to do, they wrote letters, to France, and they wrote letters to Britain. The people that we found, they are uncivilized. So we have to teach them how to be civilized. So let's make them Christians. Okay? So that was when you stopped being man and woman, and they taught you how to be civilized. That was the creation of the 5 civilized tribes. Look at what it looks like today. It don't look like the original people. That was how they imposed religion on us. As long as you open your eyes, and I'm not talking about your physical eye, man. I'm talking about what's within. Go within and look out. That's how they had to send the message to the world. Okay? That's how they had to send that message to the world. These people are not civilized, but yet still in their documents, they will tell you how brilliant we were. The intellectual of these people, the civilizations that they had, but yet still we were not considered civilized men and women. But that was based on their narrative. So they had to break you down from being a man and made you a beast. So the world could see you as a beast, so that the world could come together and destroy these people. The thugs. What you think is happening today? It is the same blueprint. Nothing new under the sun. It is the same thing they are doing. It's just a different time. Same old BS. What do? They promote you being animals. They promote you being niggas. Well, they don't promote you being niggas. You call yourself niggas. I ain't nobody, nigga. If you want to be a nigga, that's on you. Like I said before, a nigga always want to kill a nigga. Oh, I'm going to kill a nigga. I'm a blast a nigga. But a nigga never know how to kill the nigga in him. That is the first thing that you have to do. Our people have such a long way to go, man. It's not even funny. But there is nothing new under the sun. They have to demonize you so the world could see. So when they do what they do to you, then the world would look at it as, you know what? These people are animals, so they are destroying animals. So now, the quickest way, okay, to make sure that there is some type of parallel first, okay, there is some kind of parallel, there is some type of equilibrium, is for you to get on the same page. How do you do that? Okay? But you see, we have two things that's working for us. Two. First, man and woman created in the likeness and image of the Most High. And secondly, the label being an American Aborigine. Man, game over. But the question is, do you know how to apply those things? Do you know how to make it applicable to your life? That is the question. Learn how to play the game. Some people say, well, you know what? I am not part of the game. Yes, you are. Do you have a bank account? Do you walk around with fiat currency? So you are a part of the system. You are playing the game. You are playing the game. So let's not allow our pride to blind us from seeing exactly what it is. It's a game that's being played. And we are all part of the game. And we have to continue to play the game and master the game until we decide we don't want to be, or not want to be, let me rephrase that, until we decide, you know what, we don't want this game to be played on our land anymore. But until then, you are in the game, whether you like it or not. Anytime you have to go ask for a job, anytime you have to pay rent, anytime you have to pay for a phone, anytime you have to pay for clothes, anytime you have to pay for food, anytime you have to, use a social, anytime you have to use the fiat currency, you are in the game. Don't get it twisted. The question is, do you know how to play the game? Do you know how to win? Because that's what it's all about. Go look at sports. Why do you think they make millions and billions of dollars in sporting events? Because people are so gravitated to winners and losers. Okay? They glorify the winners and they show pity for the losers. When the truth is, nobody is winning except for those who, how would I put it? Who are on top of that, that pyramid, so to speak. There's only one winner in all of this. So I want to show you how to win, because there is a way to win. It is about winning and losing. And right now, we have been losing for a very, very, very long time. It is time for the losing to stop. It is time. And all the labels that we are calling ourselves, let us forget that for now. Okay? Let us go back to being man and woman. All right? And what we have in favor in terms of when we speak of nationality, when we speak of an immediate land mass, then we are the American Aborigines, the autochthon Americans. So we have those things going for us. But do you know how to, again, apply it to your life? And that's where all this boils down to. Okay, the people who created this fictitious entity on our land, they have already told us, they say it every single day, America is a land of immigrants. They are telling you, they're being boastful about it. We took over your shit because you're not an immigrant. So if this is a land of immigrant, then what's your place in your own home? How are we establishing our political status in our own home? It is time. And that's what it means to correct your political status. And I will say political status because you cannot correct being a man or a woman. You are a man or a woman. The question is, you have forgotten how to act as a man and a woman. So that is not a status. That is just what it is. Because being a man is not a status. Being a woman is not a status. Everything else is a label. Man is not a label. Woman is not a label. But everything else is a label. So now, for us to navigate in this world that's created on our land, we have to learn how to play the game. But the edge that we have is we could play the game as man and woman, plus being Aborigines that we label ourselves. Okay? I hope this makes sense, man. I hope it makes sense. Because there's just too much division. Too much division. Too much animosity. Too much hatred. Too many people putting people down because they want to have more views. They want their videos to do better. Man, listen, all those things are superficial, man. I'm just here to bring the message. I couldn't care less how many views, as long as one man or one woman could get this and learn how to master this, then I have done my job. I have. This is not a popularity contest to me. I don't do this for the likes. I do this for the love. So you have to really grasp the concept of what I'm saying, because all the labels are intertwined in the political system. Okay? The Constitution doesn't protect Aborigines. It doesn't protect Indians. It protects the people who call themselves civilized men and women. It protects them. It protects men and women because they have made themselves man and woman, and they made you mankind and womankind, and you have accepted it. So I want to teach you again how to be a man and a woman and not a kind of man or a kind of woman. Everything else is irrelevant, but there's only one way to win. So my question to you is, do you want to continue to lose, or do you want to start winning? Because that's the only way they could touch you, is when you start giving yourself the labels, especially labels such as Black and African American that has no standing in law. You know, as an American Aborigine, that takes you out of their jurisdiction. But that means you have no protection. Okay? Is there enough of us where we could protect ourselves? No. I mean, shoot, we're the ones fighting against each other. So you see the problem? That is the problem. That is the problem. And unless our people learn this, we are not going to make any advancements. We are not going to make any progress. No, we are not. You're fooling yourself. It's an illusion. And a lot of people think because they are coming into the knowledge that we are American Aborigines, well, you know what? I'm going to quit my job. I don't want to be part of the system. Well, that's foolish. And you know why it's foolish? Because how are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to survive? How are you going to eat? How are you going to feed your children? What's your plan? Being an Aborigine doesn't pay. In fact, teaching that we're American Aborigines doesn't pay. That's just the truth. However, we have to be able to use this system, okay? I don't care if you have to have 10 jobs. Get 10 jobs so that you could facilitate being an American Aborigine until we are able to be self-sustained. That is the trick. But there is ways to play it. There's ways to play it. There is ways to play the game, brothers and sisters. There is a way to win. It's a voluntary system. We are volunteering ourselves. Nobody's forcing us. Yes, back in the days, yes, there were wars and people were fighting, but we live in a different day and era now. Okay? So the enslavement has to be a little more subtle. But because it's a little more subtle, man, it's more dangerous. It's a little more destructive. It's more catastrophic. You know why? Because they are controlling the minds of the people. The minds of the masses are being controlled. So therefore, they don't have to put you in chains anymore because your mind is in chains. So I want to show you how to free your mind. That's it. Free your mind. Learn how to play the game and win. And once again, like I said, this is what my book is about. I went in detail. I'm talking about, yes, I went in detail to show you who are the culprits, okay, that started all this, how they started it, and what's happening right now, and some of the steps that you could take to start freeing yourself. Man, this thing is so important. Like I said, if one person could read this book and change their lives, then I have done my job. Because we all came here with free will. We all came here with a purpose. And the worst thing, you see, death, like I've said before, death is not the hardest thing. Death comes easy. The hardest thing is living and not having a purpose or not knowing your purpose. That is the hardest thing. And we all have choices. We all have a choice. It's either you're going to be or you are not. It's either you're going to be good or you're going to be evil. It's either you're going to be loving or you're going to hate. It's either you're going to win or you're going to lose. But you have to learn to play the game. Thank you, Sonolu. I appreciate that. So you see me, I don't care what people say about me because they're going to talk. They're going to talk anyway. You do good, people talk. You do bad, people talk. You do indifferent, people talk. So just do you. Serve your purpose. If your purpose is you came here to hate and destroy and be destructive, then serve it well. Just remember that there are people like me who came to give life. And I will be a problem for you because I will continue to be one of the good ones. Because that's a choice that I made. That's my purpose. You see, I know my purpose. So that's why to me, dying will be easy. And I'm talking about that physical death. There's no such thing as death. It's just the body going back into the ground. But my spirit will go back to meet the great spirit and join my ancestors. So I fear no man. I fear nothing. The only thing I was afraid of is not knowing my purpose. Now that I know my purpose, my biggest fear was not living or serving my purpose. But now that I am, I have no fear. No fear whatsoever. Today or tomorrow, whoever decide if that was part of the blueprint, anybody decide to take my physical body out, then so be it. That was just part of the plan. It was just part of the plan. I signed up for this, and I already knew it was going to happen. I just forgot. So thank you for reminding me. You can't kill me. You can't destroy me. I'm immortal. You know why? Because I was made in the likeness and image of the Most High. and the Most High is immortal. The Most High is eternal. So how can there be an end to me, the I am? You could put an end to Chief Kalinago, but you can't put an end to I am. You can't. So for all those of you running around hating me, talking about me, lies and propaganda, man, listen, that doesn't bother me, man. Because you're not talking about me. That's not me you're talking about. You're talking about the physical representation of me. The I am in me. You don't know that. You have never met that. So how can you talk about that? You fool. A bunch of lost people, bottom feeders. One thing you have to realize is this. The power of life and death is in the tongue. And I use my tongue to give life to people. I'm here planting seeds. I'm here teaching my people how to win. And we are going to win. We will be victorious. And like I said before, if you look in the description below, you will also see a video from a sister, OneLUV. I love the track. So, I promised her that I would, give her a shout out. So go to her channel, check out the video, subscribe. There are people out there doing some real work. That's not just talking. That's not hating. That's not breaking down. We are building. And let me remind y'all something. The same stone that the builder refused is going to be the head cornerstone. Keep that in mind. Because you will hear my voice in your head when that day comes. Don't be one of the foolish ones. It's okay to be ignorant. Ignorant is only bliss when you're seeking. When you're seeking knowledge, ignorance is only bliss. But ignorance is not bliss if you choose to stay in ignorance. So don't be one of the foolish ones. Don't perish for the lack of knowledge. I am giving you the knowledge. I am showing you the way out. There is a way out, brothers and sisters. There is a way out. Get out of her, or else you will be consumed by that fire. Remember the first allegorical, how would I put it, Purge. There's a movie coming out, Purge, again this summer. They are telling you, they're going to purge y'all out. One of the greatest stories that was told was of the flood. To me, it's allegorical, because I don't believe that the Most High flooded the entire earth and destroyed his children or her children. Okay? I don't believe our spiritual parents did that to us. If our physical earthly parents would not destroy us, would not hate us, would not want us to burn in an eternal fire, why would our spiritual parents want that for us? So I don't believe in these things. Okay? However, one of the greatest stories of all time was the flood. And the entire earth was flooded. And the warning was given. Okay? If you don't change, you will die. Nobody listened. The ark was being built. Nobody listened. When that door closed and the rain started coming and the earth flooded, they wanted to get on, but it was too late. Now again, I think it was an allegory, but I'm looking at the message in the allegorical story. But this time it's not going to be a flood, because the Most High gave us the rainbow. And that's a promise. It was a covenant between man, woman, and our spiritual parents, that they will not destroy us that way again. They will not consume us by water. However, the next purge will come with fire. And for those of you who don't want to learn, those of you who have eyes and can't see and ears who can't hear, you are going to learn the hard way. You will burn. Within, it's an internal burning. And you will find yourself just dying on the inside. They are going to purge you out. So I'm asking you to get your stuff together. Get it in order. Learn the game. And learn how to win. There is a way to win. So, the link is below. The book is called Newsflash, Everyone's a Slave Unless. I believe it's a must read. I believe it's a perfect gift. You seeking for answers. Well, I may not know it all, but I know a whole lot. And the information that I'm giving you, it can save and it will save your life. It is time. We have a short window of opportunity to get our act together. What did the allegorical Bible say? That the Creator is looking for the 144,000 that will change things around, that will replenish the earth. You see, it's not going to take a lot of us. Only those who get it and those who apply it, they will be one of the 144,000. So with that being said, check out both the links below. Once again, like I said, check out OneLUV's video. Go to her channel, subscribe, show her some love. Okay? The link for the book below. You could actually order your copy right now, because I'm gonna do it on a first come, first serve basis. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. So get your copy. All right. Again, you know, I do these things because, you know what, I love the people, man. I love the people, you know, and it's tough when you love people and you see them hurting and they don't know why they are hurting, or they are under the illusion of something else. They think they are hurting because of the color of their skin. No, you are hurting because you have accepted labels and titles. That's why you're hurting. You're hurting because you were enslaved mentally. You're hurting because at birth you sell your children out by signing birth certificates. You're hurting because you perish for the lack of knowledge. But once again, you can win. And there is a way out. All right? Check the link below. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. All right? And what can I say, man? You know, I cannot save everybody. As a matter of fact, I'm not here to save anybody. Only you could save yourself. However, I could give you the tools so that you could build your own boat to save yourself. That's what I could do. You know, I don't want to give you a fish because I'll only feed you for one day. But I want to show you how to fish so that you could eat for a lifetime. And that's what I want to do. Teach you how to win this so you could teach it to your children, so they could teach it to their children and their children. And that's how we're going to reverse the cycle of perpetual slavery. That's how we're going to win, because there is a way to win. How you think other people are doing it? Why can't you do it? Because you know why? It's the mind. When you're ready to change your mind, your life will change. All right? So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for sharing your energy with me. The link is below. Go to the website, you know, place your order for the book. And like I said, we have work to do. And one man, one woman cannot do it alone. It's going to take a few of us to do this. It is. All right? And unity is key. You know, I know that we all will not come together and sing Kumbaya. It wasn't going to be that way anyway. So we are always going to have people that's going to oppose. We are always going to have people that came to destroy, to break us down, prevent us from moving forward. Right? But we can't stop. We can't pay them no mind. Those of us who want the right frequency, we have to unite, come together, and make these moves. So both my emails are in the link below. I'm always ready to get together with my brothers and sisters and share information and build. I'm a builder. That's what I am. Wow. And you know, I was going to say I'm a teacher, but it feels like I'm a builder. I'm building lives. I'm building people. I like that. All right? So you guys take care of yourselves, man. And let's do this. Let's do this. Learn how to be man and woman again. And I promise you, your life will change. You will win, because there is laws and rules in this universe. There is an order. And the order is man and woman cannot be persecuted by these fictitious entities. Think of what I'm saying. All that's in the book. All right? I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace and love. I'm out.